Okay, so running a calibration and running a test. When you first turn the instrument on, the instrument will take 20 to 30 minutes to warm up. Once it is warmed, it will come up on screen saying calibrate, yes or no. So you're going to say yes to calibrate, yes or no, say yes. And it will ask you to inject an 8 millimole standard. We take our 8 millimole standard from our 8 millimole standard bottle and we pour some into our working bottle like this. At the end of every day we throw out the working bottle reagent and add new the next day. We take our 10 microliter pipette and we withdraw 10 microliters of the reagent into the pipette. At this point it is very important to wipe the outside of the tip, because we're only using 10 microliters and any residual fluid on the outside of the tip will affect the actual result. So we just wipe off the tip and make sure this is perfectly dry. It now says inject the 8 millimole standard, putting the pipette straight upwards and down into the cuvette. We dispense the fluid and pull out, holding the top of the pipette so we don't actually withdraw it again. We then wash the pipette tip, dry it, and it's ready to use again. The instrument is now calibrating. As you can see, it has finished its test. It is now calibrated using the 8 millimole, so it is now, the system is now ready to use. What you can hear now is the actual cycling of the new reagent, of the old reagent out of the cuvette and the new reagent into the cuvette. And at this point, you can now see on screen, it says glucose cal and prepare sample. So you're now ready to test your sample for a patient. You have to wait now for it to go from prepare sample to ready. Stop. Okay, so the screen has now moved from prepare sample to inject sample. So again, I'm just loading my pipette tip with 10 microliters of sample. In this occasion, I'm using the standard as a sample, just for example purposes. Wiping the outside of the tip again to remove excess of the sample. Injecting straight into the middle of the cuvette. Pushing the tip down, removing the tip while it's still down. The screen now moves to analysing. I am now going to wash the tip in the water and dry it again in the tissue so it is ready to go for the next sample. Result 8.05. Again, well within any parameters that we set for testing of the standard as a sample. You can now hear the cuvette emptying and new reagent being placed into the cuvette. Once that is done, the screen once again goes to prepare sample. Okay, at the moment, I want to just show you the different menu options. At the moment we are on glucose with inject sample. From here, pressing the no button will take us through to the different menus options available. We start with calibrate, and pressing no cycles you through to the next menu. Cycle, print time and date, ID on off, electrode output, change units, set cal value, analyze stats, standby, index reset, empty, set date and time, set delay time, and back to calibrate. If on calibrate we want to do a new calibration, so from the inject sample we decide that we need to recalibrate, we would just go to press the no button, go to the calibrate, press the yes button, and it will tell you to inject the 8.0 standard. So at that point, we load our pipette with the 8 ml standard. We wipe the outside of the pipette tip, again as we always do, to dry it off and make sure it's consistent. And then inject that sample directly into the middle of the cuvette with one fluid action, holding the pipette tip down as we withdraw the pipette, and then washing the pipette tip. As you can see now, the screen has moved to calibrating. And it is now saying calibrated on the 8 millimole. Again, now you can hear the cuvette emptying and the new reagent being placed into the cuvette. This instrument is now ready to be for testing again. As we see now, glucose is calibrated and it is asking you to prepare the sample.